Hello and welcome. Today we're going to take a look at the Jabba sail barge. Now this thing is huge. It is set up behind me and it is over 3 base plates in length. And this is actually one of the inner boxes. So we've got quite a bit to get through. But what we'll do as per normal, take a look at the box artwork. Instruction manual is very quick and very brief. Then we'll go over all the minifigures. Then we'll strip down the set and have a good look at all the bits and pieces that it has to offer. So with that being said, let's get to it. So I told you there was a lot going on with this set and it takes up quite a bit of space. The actual sail barge itself is absolutely massive. You can see all of the minifigures just here. Then as we pan around, we have got Jabba himself and we'll be taking a good look at all of them in a couple of minutes time. But to start with, we'll have a very quick look at the inner boxes inside the actual main sail barge box. Now the nice thing is about this, it has some fantastic artwork. The artwork, as you've already seen at the very start, pictures on both sides, but what you might have missed, it does actually say on the box just up there, box number 1, and then as we come down it also then says box number 2, which keeps it nice and simple because there's lots and lots of obviously paper bags on the inside of this, and it does help with the building experience that it is much smaller bags and you can actually get through the build relatively quickly. So we'll quickly take a look at the box artwork. Obviously, we'll be taking a look at all these amazing minifigures in closer detail in a couple of minutes' time. But you can see that there are quite a few minifigures included. And then you do have, I do believe, a huge new mould for the Jabba the Hutt. But like I said, this is from the UCS series. So this is the Ultimate Collector series. And it is the Jabba's sail barge, obviously under the Star Wars banner. It is under item number 75397, 3,942 pieces, and it is under the 18+ set. Now, I did say that the bags themselves were beautiful sizes. It did not take too long to put this together, and there was just easy enough to find all the pieces, and that's the kind of thing I really like, because sometimes with these UCS sets there is a huge volume of pieces in every single bag and it just takes forever to find everything, whereas with this it was not too difficult and it was actually a really interesting sort of smooth build, even with all the technical bits and pieces at the very beginning. This will be the important bit for a lot of people. It is 77 centimeters or 30.5 inches in length, so it is, like I said, just over 3 base plates long, and then as it spins round we have got a little bit of artwork on the inside. So as you open it up, you have then got this, which does look very impressive. And then you've obviously got the famous scene with the princess and Jabba himself. Now, for a quick comparison with regards to the box and the actual set itself. This set is a lot longer than the actual box it comes in. So if you are unsure of just how big 3 base plates is, when you go into the store and you actually see the box, add on a good chunk onto the box, and that is how much space that you are going to need. But you're going to be covering 3 base plates long by a base plate in width, but it is an extremely streamlined looking set. So we'll get tucked into this once we've had a very quick look at the instruction manual. Right, so because this set is so big, I don't really have anywhere to put the camera and the set at the same time. So we're just basically going to make this up as we go along. Very quick look at the instruction booklets. It comes with 2. So nice and simple. Booklet number 1, it tells you all the different bits and pieces of everything that's on the inside. It tells a really nice story with regards to everything that is involved within the making of it and the film and everything like that. And it has fantastic artwork on the inside. Now, I have covered all of this in the unboxing video and I basically read it word for word. So if you want to see this in much more greater detail, then obviously head over to that video and then you can have a look at all the different bits and pieces, all the timelines, how you can create all the different dioramas and all of that kind of thing. But with regards to this set, like I said, it does come with 2 different instruction booklets and it breaks it up quite nicely with regards to how you actually put this together. It's very Technic heavy for the first couple of bags. So if you aren't a fan of Lego Technic, well, the first thing you do is obviously start putting a Technic chassis together. It is unbelievably sturdy. Now, I don't think I've ever said that about a Star Wars set in my life, but I think this is by far the strongest set I have ever put together under a UCS banner. And I have done the Falcon before. I hated it that much. I sold it. And I had the big Star Destroyer before. It was that flimsy. I sold it. So that is how much I have a love-hate relationship with this. But you can just see all of the pins and everything involved on there. But like I said, this has all been covered in the unboxing video. So if you want to see this in greater detail. But this is 286 pages long and it's 425 steps. And that takes you to the very, very base of the cockpit. And then you basically crack on with booklet number 2. But it's a bit cheeky because the first thing you've got to do is actually turn it upside down, and that is a good test, because if you can turn it upside down and nothing falls off, then you're going to be completely safe and fine for the rest of the build. And then we go all the way to the very, very end. So bag 18, the very, very final bag, so 36 bags in this one, is the stand. So bag 18 is the first one that you do. How many bags is there? Let's go just to step, I think it starts at step 800 and something. It's 36 bags in total, and that is where you put it all together with the plaque and the plinth. So very, very impressive looking thing. Now, a quick shout out with regards to the actual stickers. There's not that many of them. Obviously, they're not on here. They are on the set. They are around. They don't stand out too much, which is great, and there's not too many of them. There is 2 10s, 1 9, there's 1 8, 1 7, 1 6, 1 5, 1 4, 1 3, 2 1s and 2 2s. But if you can't even see where they are, then that means that obviously it does add to the set very, very nicely. Now, talking of the set, let's get tucked into this straight away. Now, like I said, you're gonna have to stay where you are because this thing is so big on the table, but it strips down lovely, because I actually moved the whole table then rather than the actual set itself. That could have been a disaster. So all the flaps open up easy enough, so they line up nicely. They're very, very sturdy. I think I'm going to have mine displayed open and hovering over the cantina. Now, what I didn't realise, I haven't spoiled this for myself, is the back bit is actually pinned in, so you can push it in. So because this is obviously a much heavier flap, so when it starts to go, you can see how quickly it drops, because that is actually a 2-bag build. Now, it does look very, very dark on the inside, and we will be taking a quick look at that in a second, but there is a way to fix it. The roof itself comes off very, very easily. Now, to be honest, I think I prefer this design over the modulars, which says a lot, because you've really got to push down on the modulars to stop it from falling off. But this feels sturdy enough that you can easily move it, because these bits just are here on the inside. They're actually almost like guide rods. But before we take the top off, let's have a quick look at just how dark it actually is with the bits and pieces in. So it's going to be a struggle to see, but obviously it is what it is with regards to the lighting. But this is a true look without a light kit at just how dark it is on the inside. Now, was a little bit cheeky with regards to some of the photos they added on the website, because this obviously is removed in the actual box artwork, sorry, the artwork on the website, that's removed, and it looked like the staircase went up to the top. Well, it doesn't. It's a solid thing, and the top actually comes off. Now, I didn't realise any of this until I built it, because like I said, I did not want to spoil it for myself, so I think I've got you at the right angle. Either one comes off first, but obviously if you take the sail off across the one across the top, that'd be a little bit easier. Give it a finger, posh it up, and then you are that simple. So it is super sturdy. If that was the Falcon, that would be in about 200 pieces right now. That is a sturdy, sturdy piece. I am awful for breaking bits and pieces, but it is again, you can see just how much layers they've put on the bottom of this. You would have a hard job to actually break that off. They have added in these doors, so if you did want to take some sort of photography, these doors do open up from the bottom, and obviously that takes you from the next layer, because there is little bits and pieces that they can climb up. So I'm assuming that there's just little hidden Easter eggs and everything on the inside, but that itself is a rather large thing. So if I grab an actual base plate for comparison, there's a grey base plate. Of all the things, I found a grey base plate, so it's going to be difficult to see. That is a base plate in length. So the actual top of it is a base plate, and it is just under probably half a base plate in width, so it's not too bad. That's a bit of a schoolboy error with regards to the colour of the base plate. Do it in a white one. Let's see if that's a little bit stand out a little bit more. So just in case the camera didn't pick that up, because you've got grey and brown on grey, there you go. So you can just see, if I push that back, get that to the front, you are, what, a stud over, but you've got these interesting railings that we will look into in a short while. So that one comes off, and that is part number one. Now, straight away, you can see just how bright and vibrant it is on the inside. Now, the inside itself, it's obviously made up to a degree, but at the same time, it's based on the original toy, I do believe, which, thanks to Jay's Toy Collection UK, also said it's based on an original Hasbro HasLab project from way back when, and all the rooms are exactly the same. So there will be somewhere in the Star Wars timeline for some sort of magazine, comic book, or whatever that will describe the internals of this. But all you saw in the film was this bit over here, and obviously the bit across the top. But if I was then to take this bit off, you can just see what I mean with regards to how easy it is to come off. So you've got these bits, so that's where my finger goes, and these bits just stay. And I think that is a fantastic design, because it's so easy to take off and put back on again. So you can display it multiple ways, and if you want to move the minifigures around, these come off super, super simple, and you don't have to worry about them being broken. Now, I said about the ladder. So I said that they had been cheeky to a degree, because it looked like there was a hatch that they could get through. Well, they have done it, because you've got this bit just here. So this bit actually does open up, and this bit does open up, and I can get my finger through. But I haven't actually tried it with a minifigure, because can you... Who should we use? We'll use C-3PO, because, well... Does it fit? Yes, it does. So you can get it through, and that is actually over the top of the ladder on the inside. So even though they were a little bit cheeky about not having this piece here, because obviously it made it look like the kitchen was a little bit bigger, they still have added this bit in, and I think that's a really nice touch, because I had absolutely no idea how they'll be able to climb onto the roof. So before we go into the roof, let's have a look at the bottom, and then we'll basically work our way up to the top. Now, with regards to other little bits and pieces, if you think it still looks a little bit dark and you want a little bit more light, well, that then opens up on the other side. Like I said, there's a lot to it, but all the details obviously facing this way, but you can get it on the other side. Now, if you want to, this flap does open up as well. Doesn't do anything as such, apart from being a flap, because, well, you've got the kitchen solid wall in the way, and this flap also opens up. But what it does allow you to do, it allows you to get entry into the cockpit a little bit easier. So obviously it's just a nice way of doing it. Now, what does not come off is these bits on the front. You can pop them off if you want to, but this is where it's a little bit fragile. You've got to be careful with how you put these on, because it is on a very, very big ball, and obviously a Technic joint and all that kind of thing. You start to push it in too hard with the length of these plates, just be careful of cracking bits and pieces. That's all I'm worried about. But again, with regards to all the layering, you can see all of that. You think, oh, it's going to be really, really boring. You only do a little bit at a time. So like this, for example, is a bag. And then you do something slightly different. So you do these two, then you do something else, and you go over to the other side. And it doesn't take long, and it's not that hard to find all the pieces, because obviously that is quite a small bag. So before you know it, all the sides start to go on very, very quickly. But detail-wise, we have got a lot going on here. This is basically where all the stickers, well, most of the stickers were used, because if I was to open this bit up here, you've got one sticker just on there, again, adds to the set. You've got another sticker here, and then you've got another sticker on the other side, and then you have another sticker on the cockpit area. So in fact, I think you've got another one here. I don't think, let's have a look. I don't think that's a print, I can't remember. Either I put that sticker on absolutely amazingly, or it is a print. No, it's a print, that one. So there's me being absolutely stupid. So you've got 4 stickers up on there, and then as it comes down, you can obviously sit the minifigures on there. You have got little bits and pieces on here. This is a nice, interesting build as well, how this bit connects up to the top, and it just adds stability. This is the big, could not stress enough how angry I was building the previous UCS sets, because like I said, I am brutal when it comes to bits and pieces, but they have improved this so much with regards to stability, and it's a big thing to do it on as well. But it's how they've done everything on the first couple of bags. That's the key to give all of this. I mean, listen, It's solid, absolutely solid. You're obviously going to break if you drop it, and obviously you've got to be careful when you pick it up, because you've got to scoop it in from underneath, which we'll be taking a look at actually now as I'm thinking about it, because you have got these feet underneath. Now, this is one of the things that I was wondering about and almost concerned about with regards to how can I make this taller for myself, because I want to make this hovering over the cantina. Now, I'm going to be doing something very, very stupid, because I'm going to try. There we go. So if I try and turn this over, you can see everything that is going on there. Lots and lots of all the different layering. There's loads of it going on, and that's all the bits and pieces at the front where my hand is. Obviously I'm not going to do anything stupid, but you have got lots of detail and everything else. But it's these legs just here. Now, those legs, I thought you would be able, these things just here, to easily extend these. Going to be a little bit tricky, because it's actually one molded piece that comes out to the side, and then you put the feet on. So to make this higher, I think you might have to make it up with Lego rather than just adding on a Technic length. But if anybody can help me with that, that would be fantastic. Get in the comment section in case anybody else would like to know how to make theirs a little bit taller, because I would like it, I'd like the base probably, I've got the Technic pieces, but I just don't think it's doable. You've just got to be, and if it is doable, you've got to be very, very careful how you do it, because they haven't left the Technic holes on the side. It's all enclosed on itself, and they've done a fantastic job of hiding everything. I'm determined to show you the bottom of this properly. There, so you can see what they've done all across the bottom, but I just don't know the best way of actually raising this thing up. So fingers crossed it's doable, and it's not going to be that difficult, but at the same time my brain just cannot get past the fact that there is a way of doing it, because as we know, the Disaster series, I'm a moron basically. That is the easiest way. So let's get all of these flaps open. Again, you've got to be careful with the bits and pieces on the back, but there is a good bit of detail. So cockpit, obviously that is, you don't see that. You've got a prison cell with a load of weapons. Now, the weapons that they give you on this are vicious as anything. Now, these things are sturdy enough, because I know, well, I'm assuming they're sturdy enough, that I reckon I can just use use them as a stand. Yep, so you are hands-free now, which is great once I get you in a position where you don't actually want to fall over. There you go. So that's it, he says. So you can see all the bits and pieces that are there, because you have got, for some reason, the famous broom. Not too sure what the broom's there for, but it's a cool looking thing. The door obviously will open up, so you can see there, just slides it open. You've got a little seat and everything on the inside. Then there is a bone on the inside, and there's some water bits and pieces as well. So it's a bit of an odd thing, but it is there. But then the weaponry carries on going around the side. So you've got a pair of handcuffs just on here. This is where it was a little bit sneaky with regards to the photos that they took, because obviously I can't get the camera round and actually see through, and I can't strip this out because this is a solid piece of a wall. But by eye, it is all easily visually enough to see, and hopefully it's coming through on the camera okay. So you've got all of these different weapons. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different weapons, a blaster. You've got this thing just here, which again is a bit that you could potentially climb up to the next tier, because we did see there was a little bit just there. And then on this side, this is the bit that you do climb up, and then you go through the next level. Now this level, this seems to be much brighter than this bit, but they are the same size. Each one of these, I think, is a 16 by 16 base plate, pretty much, on all 3 of those. That's a guess, I haven't counted, but it kind of makes sense. And then you got another one on that bit, and then you got it either side to make it, obviously, the 3 base plates in total. But you have got a couple of stickers on here. So at the very, very back, there's 2 more with regards to the menu and things like that. You've got the rubbish bin, you've got the little frog at the bottom, which is obviously all the bits and pieces that they eat. So that's Jabba's favourite meal, I think, from the Jabba family, or the Hutt family, shall I say. And then you've got all the fish, and then you've got all the cutlery bits and pieces. You've got this nice little flame just on the inside, just there. And then you've got all the details up here. So there is a lot going on for this, and each bit is just a bag. It's just a nice little build. Now, this thing here, obviously this is huge. Hang on. That bit just there is massive. Now, any guesses what that's going to be? Obviously, it's for Jabba. I mean, this Jabba's monstrous, and he just sits in absolutely fine. Now, this potentially could be where they could have used 1 or 2 stickers for a little bit of texture going across the bottom, but you have got 1, 2 there for minifigures. So again, we'll just use, just because he's the closest, we'll use C3PO, and he stands up just there, and I think it'd be rude not to for the first time to put her in, because what a beautiful looking minifigure she is as well. So again, you can plonk them in, and you can recreate if you want to, basically whatever scene you want to in there. Then you can just make one up on that bit, make one up on that bit, and make one up on that bit. But like I said, it isn't based on what you saw in the Star Wars film, but it would have been based off some artwork from somewhere. I'm sure there'll be a Star Wars fan with an encyclopedia of knowledge, which I have none, and you guys and girls can let me know exactly where these were found, because Lego didn't come up with this idea. This has already been done. Now, you have got the DJ booth just on there as well, which is a cool looking thing. So we will get the blue elephant involved. In you go. And then you're on the decks doing whatever it is you need to do. Oh, I need 2 hands for that. But you have got all of this nice detail and texture all on the inside. And again, if you are wondering, yeah, closes, absolutely no problem with all the minifigures on here. And then you have got moving elements on the outside to do whatever it is that you want to do. So overall, that is everything on the bottom layer. Nice and simple, nice and easy. With regards to bits and pieces across the top, we've seen these. Massive with the sail on. So what I will do, because I am an idiot, if I can get that off carefully, because it is just on a Technic pin, we'll put that over there like an umbrella. This is what you get, so that's a little bit easier. So you can see all of the different detailing up on there. This is the bit that I said that they can go through on the 1 section. So that is the double ladder just on there. And then where C3PO went for the flying, it's that ladder just there, and that is on the other one. But you have got a good use of elements, so you've got weird whisks and everything. Now, I am saying this now in case you're stumbling across this for the first time. This is not a mistake. So if you are going to be buying this for yourself, this is how it's supposed to be, because this is as accurate as to the original artwork and the actual movie itself. So this is supposed to be here. So there is supposed to be making it look like it's broken, but people are saying that Lego are getting quite a few phone calls thinking that they have a missing piece. Now, these things are a bit of a pain in the backside to clip on, but they do go in okay. The weirdest thing to do is the whips. You've got 4 whips. It's an interesting use of element. When you first put them in, well, it's a pain in the backside, but then when they settle down and they basically stretch out to that shape, they just sort of settle in a shape that they are happy with, and then you are good to go. But you can see that one bit slightly longer than the other, so I can knock this forward and all that kind of thing. And then this side, I think I got that one pretty much spot on, but I've moved this over when I put the actual weapon on, because you have got a weapon on here, and then you have got a weapon on this one as well. Now, not only do you have the little gun, you've also got a rather large blaster on here as well, so you can see just there just how big that thing is. And again, you've got loads of room for all the minifigures, so this thing does spin all the way around. It's a cool looking thing. That's where the Technic pin goes in. You've got the little steps that come up. You can add minifigures wherever it is that you want to add them. To be honest, you can do whatever it is that you want to do. And then you've got this hidey hole hatch just here where they've got almost, it's a crawl space, isn't it, where they can just crawl in, and then they are good to go. But again, just to show you how easy it is to put this back, because if it was dreadful, I would definitely let you know it was dreadful, but it's easy enough to do. So I will clip you back in on here. So just give that a bit of a gentle push, like so. This one comes off, and give you a gentle push on there, like so. And we will just as easily, hopefully, he says, I think it's easier if you have the flaps all the way down. Just line it up. Done. Simple. There's one. And then that is as simple for number 2. And you're down. That's it. There's nothing to it. It's so easy. Up he goes. That's it. not a bother. Flip them up on the other side, no problem whatsoever. Give you a little bit of a twist so you can see that that's what it looks like from the front. You've got the really nice shape on the front. It's a nice, interesting thing to curve. So like I said, it looks like it's moving. It's extremely, extremely streamlined, and you have got different bits and pieces on there. So you've got the darker brown, the lighter brown, and then on the other side. The only thing that I would say, if you are going to be very, very picky, and obviously you can be if you want to be, I don't like the use of the 4 stickers on the outside. They put 2 on this side and 2 on the other. They are the only external stickers, and I just wish it was a vent or something else, or they just added, they obviously haven't got the element for it, but it would have been one of those that it would have been quite nice if they did it. But this is obviously, now we spun it to the other side. This is what you see from this side. That's what you see from here. That's obviously your cockpit view. And then that is what you see from the back. So you have got a chest with the chain in. So you have got the chain safe for the princess if you want to chain her up for whatever reason. And then you can just see how sturdy all of that is. And then if I put you back on this makeshift stand, you can then just see what it is like on the back, which is this bit just here. So again, it really does stick out across the back. You can do different bits and pieces on here. I will put this with the skiff at the very, very end. There's no point comparing it for size and scale with anything else because, well, it's the longest thing I have here. Unless I had the Titanic or anything, there's no point doing a side-by-side comparison, but we'll just see how it works with regards to the skiff, because obviously that is something that they have done. And then again with these on the back, as I push that down, that is exactly how it's supposed to be, and you can easily get the minifigures on there. So talking of minifigures, I will change the camera and we'll take a quick look at all the minifigures that are included before we do a side-by-side with the skiff, and then we'll start to wrap things up. Right, moving on to the minifigure. So we will take a much better look at these as per normal. I'll strip them all down, I'll take the head pieces off, hair pieces, spin the heads around, see if they've got alternate faces, and take a look at all the details on the torsos and all of that kind of thing. And then, of course, butcher every single pronunciation of every single name that you can possibly think of. But this is all built in the very, very final bag, and it is nice that you can have them safe and sound on a custom stand if you wanted to, if obviously you don't have them in the sail barge, and that way at least you can see them on a custom stand as well. And the other custom stand that you make up is this big thing for Jabba himself. Now, it is huge. He is massive. He all spins around, his arms move about and everything like that, and he does look absolutely fantastic. So if we get you down just on there, you can just see all of the printing, everything that's going on with regards to all the stuff that's in his bright orange eyes, and you've got everything else underneath. You've got some weight to him as well. He is obviously a very chunky thing indeed, but the printing I think looks very, very good indeed. And now you've got nothing on the one arm, spin the top half round, you then got a little bit of printing on the other, and just look how chunky he is this there. You have got full twist and rotation if you want to, so you can see all the scales do line up. If you wanted to twist him around a little bit more, then obviously you can do. Now I will try and use the actual stand of Jabba for the minifigures, and then if it doesn't work, I will just have them on the table, because at least this way it should stop them from falling over. So, figure number 1, we have got Max Rebo, Mr. DJ himself, or especially known to me as the Blue Elephant. Now, with regards to, obviously it's accurate to the actual film. Now, the weird thing is that the torso and legs just looks really bizarre. It looks like an odd looking blue to me. Hopefully it's coming through on the camera away. It's such a really bright, vibrant thing. It's almost like it's a prototype kind of blue, and then all of a sudden you add this massive mould in for the headpiece, and it just brings it all together nicely. Now obviously this is my first ever time owning this minifigure, so potentially, I don't know if it's a downgrade or an upgrade, I couldn't care less. I now own it and it's absolutely fine, and I think it does look very, very good indeed. So that is figure number 1, that keeps it nice and simple. Number 2, we are moving on to this happy chappy just here. I'm not going to say its second name, just Bib. We'll just name you as Bib. Now, you've got some really nice printing on here going all the way from the bottom. So if we just tip him all the way back. You can see you've got all of the silver and everything going across the groin, down into the blue. You've got black boots, and obviously you've got little bits and pieces halfway up the shin, and the lines match up really nicely from the legs up into the torso. You've got the nice deep blue on the arms, and then as you spin it round, there is more printing just there, but you can see just how long the hairpiece is, and then as it spins round, the headpiece comes all the way. Now, if I was to take that off, you can then see the difference of it. So again, that is what he looks like from the front. Really deep red, and then really quite sharp teeth on this character as well. And then as it spins round, you have got the secondary face. So this one, sort of a weird looking frown, kind of looks like he's straining to go to the toilet, to be honest. So I won't be using that look, but we'll stick with this one because it looks a little bit better. And this is quite a nice mold as well. So as it goes over the shoulder, just like he says, try and do it with one hand. That's not going to work, that's not going to work, that's not going to work, that's not going to work. Figure out a way. We'll pretend that never happened. So that is now put all together, and we'll move on to the next one. So we've got Woof, I do believe, is what this one is. Great looking print on the face. Play grey, obviously, on the trouser. Then you've got a really odd sort of orangey brown across the jacket. Then you've got what looks like to be sort of grenades and bombs and things going across the torso. Then you've got the rope going across the chest and the stomach. And then you've got this sort of different colour just on the side, and you've got the green. Obviously you've got the skin tone of the green. Really detailed texture in the actual headpiece as well, and you can see that on the back. You've got quite a lot going on there. You've got all of these cut-ins, and you've got the bits across the top, you've got all the bits behind the ears. It's a very detailed headpiece, and if you take this one off, again, this has two facial expressions. So they've gone for some reason, they've gone for quite a lot of surprised looks. I never remember them looking this shocked and surprised in the film, but then at the same time, I can never take these films seriously, and it winds Jay's Toy Collection UK up greatly. He's trying to teach me, and I just find it too funny. But that is a good looking print as well. So you've got all the green and everything all around the side. You've got the white on the eyeballs, and there is gold all mixed within there as well. So this does look like a fantastic character, and I do believe this is exclusive to this set. Now there is one more that is exclusive to this set as well, and I, for the life of me, think it's Vism. I think that is the other one. I can't pronounce it to save my life. I have finally, behind the camera, put that headpiece back on, so I am not a complete moron. I have managed to do that, but I think if I keep them together, this one and this one are the two exclusive characters to this set. Now I hope that's the case, because if not, it'll actually be this one. But all three of these do look very good indeed. So 2 of the 3 are exclusive. You guys and girls can let me know in the comment section which one it actually is. But we'll carry on with Vizam first, which is the one I stupidly just cut myself on then. I was about to say the one that is in the middle. Now, you can see it's got really nice print, and all across the torso, really bright, vibrant, with lots of sort of rips and tears with all like the splodges and everything of the silver. But the facial print on this one is fantastic, because it has, well, I'm assuming, loads and loads of what looks like teeth coming out of his face. Now, what that's all about, I don't know, as I have a random fly just flying around. It got stuck on its back. I've just saved it. Not too sure if that is exactly how it was. I can't remember the face being like that, but it looks great. So you can see just all of the detail on the print on there. So they've really gone to town with some of these minifigures for the print. I know some of these minifigures are going to annoy people, and I know some of the figures should have come with the skiff, but it is what it is, and I know people aren't going to be happy with the C-3PO because there is a better version with a more silver leg in the other set, but they've given us some good stuff. And then they've given us some random bits and pieces as well. But you can see all of the dits on the back of the head. You've got the across the top, and you've got the belt and everything on there. Now with the helmet back on, you've got the two-tone colour as well. So you've got the deeper sort of brown, tips it back, and you've got all the lines and everything going across the top. And again, very strong looking minifigure. Now, moving on to this one, which again, I'm not too sure if this is, like I said, the exclusive one or not. All I'm saying is that this one begins with a K. I think it's Cathaba, But like I said, we are in the pronunciation butchering round, so I am doing my best. And I'm sure some of you might have just spat out your cereal with how bad that pronunciation was. But nice deep red trousers, you've got the belt buckle going and everything across the top with the X. And then you have the 3 pouches going across the chest. Again, no arm print on this one, but the colour works because you've got 3 colours going on. You've got the colour of the top, well 4 actually, but you've got the colour of the top, the colour of the t-shirt, the arm sleeve, and then you've got the brown of the actual arms as well. Nice printing all across the back. That does look very, very good with regards to the bit going over the shoulder, and then you've got the bit going across the back. You can see just how the hairpiece or headpiece wraps all the way around. And again, with this one, you have got no print on this one. I was about to say with this one you do, but I'm lying to you, you don't. But again, with this one you do have fantastic print on the front of the face. You've got all the really deep green, and you've got like the grey behind the eyeballs on this one, and you've got the really sharp teeth coming from the bottom of the jawline. So they've done really good jobs on a lot of these prints for the facial bits and pieces. So we are nearly out of villains, so we will move on to the guard. So this guard I do believe is exactly the same as the one that comes with the throne room that came out last year for Boba. So if you've already got that, which I have, I don't know why I've got so much Star Wars stuff, I've now got both guards, so that is okay. Just need a Rancor, please. What am I saying? And then we should be good. But with regards to this, it's one big mould, so that is it. So if you just wanted to try and army build them, well, you need to find a set of legs. That is a torso that you need to find, which again is completely different to anything else. And then you have to hunt down these massive things just here, which I can't imagine are going to be that cheap, because everybody is going to want more than one. Moving down to the final 4. So we will go into the Crumb. I'm not even going to attempt to say the first name. So the Crumb actually has a little thing he sits on. So this thing just here does come with that. And then you sit on there. So it's one solid mould. So you can see that you have got the deep yellow with a little bit of white for the eye. There's no eyeball dotting on there. Then you've got the orange going across the neck. Then you've got the little belly. And then you've got the toes, the fingers, and then you've got the curly tail. And also you can see for yourself that you've got the different ears. That's what this thing looks from side on. So if you want to get yourself some photos of this one, then obviously you can do. But it looks half decent. It is a nice looking mould as well. Now moving on to the first of the heroes, I guess. So this is the one that I don't think people care about because, well, the leg's not good enough. I get it, I know. Let's move on from the silver because it should be better than what it is. But I do like all the wiring and everything in his torso, and he has got really nice. Well, he's full printed. He's got full leg print. He's got all the gold and everything across the thighs. He's got full arm print on both sides as well, so you can't go wrong with regards to the full arm print. So again, that does look nice. It does look effective enough. And then you've got everything on the front. And then you've got everything on the back as well. And you've got the deep gold with what looks like gold blocks going across the shoulder blades. But I'm not going to dither on this one too much because I know everybody's already lost interest. Now, this thing just here. Cool looking R2-D2. And it's actually the tray. It's really, really simply done. So if you just want this minifigure and you want to add it to your collection for whatever reason, it's easy because I wasn't too sure how to do it. The heads obviously connect separately, as you can see. Then you just grab 8 studs, put 8 studs on top of him, grab yourself some drinks. So this one has 3 different kind of drinks. You've got the cup and everything on the front. You've got the orange stuff and then you've got the brown stuff. And as you can see, he tips fully at the hips with it on, so you don't have to worry about it whatsoever. And then you just plonk the head back on, and then that is as easy as that. So if you were expecting something amazing, they've literally taken his head off, put 8 studs across, and then there is your drinks tray, and it is extremely effective. Right, moving on to the princess. So fantastic looking minifigure. She looks great. Not the sort of bright gold I was thinking that she would be having going by the photos. It is a lot duller in person, as you can probably see just now, but at the same time it does still look very good indeed. So we have got, I do believe the bottom half is obviously from the game, I do believe, so that's where they got this design from. So they've given her a half type of bikini, but she does have more of a flaily skirt on as well. but obviously they've just gone for what looks like shorts, where actually it's supposed to be a full wraparound all the way, but it's actually printed on rather than a separate piece. So that's what they've done with that. But you can see you've got the gold and everything at the top of the thigh, and then you've got the gold underneath the tummy, and then you've got the gold chest plate as well. The hair is an interesting thing, because going by their official images, I thought that was like a really, really bright gold, and it's not. It's much, much duller, but it does work. But they have included the actual piece to connect the chain if you want to turn it into that way. Now you can take that bit off, and she has got a secondary face as well. Plonk her head off to get the chain attachment off, and then you can see you've got all the shoulder detail and everything going across the back. But that is all of the minifigures covered. It was always difficult with a much larger set to do a comparison, so I might as well add something that they did sneakily say and tease in the first booklet, because this was pictured. So potentially this might have been one complete UCS set, but then at the same time it would have been an absolute fortune if they had done that. Now this is actually much bigger build than I thought it was going to be, and this obviously is just quick, simple and easy. Obviously the big problem is the driver for the skiff comes with the sail barge. So if they just gave you the correct minifigures for this and then the other minifigures for that, then it would have been what it would have been. But now having all of these side by side obviously completes absolutely everything. As I bring you down and give you a little bit of a closer look, you can just see how this would be if you were to raise this up and do basically whatever it is that you wanted to do with it with regards to a battle or anything like that. Now, like I said, second you put the roof on, it's very, very dark indeed. But if I was to then open up these just to try and let a little bit more light through, which is obviously what I will not do when I display it, because I will not have the space to do that, that is it fully opened on the inside. So you're going to have to come up with a way of either taking the top off and then raising the top up by a couple of studs so you can actually let some light in across the top. That is something that I might try, just so you can actually see in a little bit better, because I will have these three open permanently, I think, because this is all going into my theme park display. Now you have got this long thing on the back, so you could potentially put some minifigures and things on there, but all in all, I think the skiff works with regards to the size, which I'm happy about, with the pit and everything like that. It's just if you've got the skill to make up a full-blown diorama using all three sets. But I think that is it, and I am done. So in the comment section, let us know, is this on your wish list, or could you not care less about the set? Let us know what you think of your minifigures as well. Are you happy with the selection it comes with? Would you like some more exclusives? Would you like some different figures in it? Let me know. But this Jabba really is huge. So obviously you can see just the length of the actual stand itself. So if I do actually put them side by side, you're probably like 2.5 base plates, I would say. I guess there's 2.5 base plates in length just to have it all like that. Obviously you can, if you wanted to, tuck them in, and you can have it like that to make it a little bit smaller, but that is obviously completely up to you. But if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ta.